Hey guys, welcome to lesson 9. This lesson is going to get us started on dividing. And we're going to start off by reviewing a strategy that you guys used in 5th grade called the Big 7 strategy. Okay, our book calls it the partial quotients method, but if you feel more comfortable calling it the Big 7, that is okay with me. Our goal today is to learn how to divide whole numbers. So we're not going to work with decimals today at all. We are just doing whole numbers. Okay, so first thing, we're going to do a strategy that uses base 10 diagrams. This is one strategy that you can use. Just know that it might be a little bit more time consuming because it will require you to draw out all of the diagrams. So if we wanted to do 372 divided by 3, let's remember that our dividend is our first number, and that's 372. That's the number we're breaking apart. Our divisor is 3, okay, and that's the number that is in each group or the size of the group that you have. So we have 3 hundreds, 7 tens, and 2 ones. So what Alina did was she made 3 groups. Right here is group 1, group 2, and we have group 3. Okay. I'll draw a line between these so that you can tell the difference. So she took 100 block and put them in one in each group. She took 2 tens and put them in each group. And then 2 ones and put them in each group. My question for you is, where did these extra ones come from? Okay. She only has 2 up here. How did she magically turn it into 4, 8, 12? Well, if you notice, she only has 6 tens here. So what she did was she took 1 10 and she unbundled it or decomposed to make it into 10 1 blocks. Then she was able to divide them up more evenly and more fairly among the 3 groups. Okay, that's the first strategy. You are welcome to use it if you want to. Just remember that it might be a little bit more time consuming because you are going to have to draw out your diagrams. Okay, let's flip to page 64. And this is where we're going to really get into the partial quotients method or the Big 7, whichever one you want to call it. So Andre calculated 657 divided by 3. Okay, so our dividend is 657. It goes inside of our little house, and our divisor is 3. So Andre started by subtracting 3 groups of different amounts. So he started with 3 groups of 200. Okay, so we have 3 groups, and we did 200 in each group. So 3 times 200 is 600, so he had to subtract 600 total. It left him with 57. Okay. Then Andre decided to take out 3 groups of 10. Okay. 3 times 10 gives us 30, so that's where this number right here is coming from. Andre subtracted out his 30, and that left him with 27. Okay. To get rid of his 27, he could do 3 groups of 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. And it left us with 0, which means that we have no remainder left over. To find the answer to this problem, Andre added up 200 plus 10 plus 9 and got an answer of 219. So let's look at the discussion questions here. They want to know, what does the 600 represent? Okay. The 600 represent, it means that you have 3 groups and that there are 200 in each group, which means he subtracted a total of 600. Okay? That is that first step right there that we talked about. Then Andre wrote a 10 above the 200 and subtracted it. Okay? 3 times 10 is equal to 30. So that's where this 30 came from in step 2. Okay? 210 and 9, okay, that is the number that is in each group. And the 0 at the bottom means that there was no remainder, so nothing was left over. Okay. We are going to actually try and calculate our own now by using the partial quotients method. I'll do it organized like Mrs. Menning did with the big 7 strategy and show you that you can do it either way here. So we have 896, that would be our dividend, divided by 4, our divisor. Okay, here's how the big 7 looks. This might be more familiar to you. And I'm going to give you a hint. If you want to save time, take out big chunks. Okay, take out big groups of numbers. The bigger, the less work you'll have to do. So if we have 896, I can think, well, 4 times what gets me close to 8? Well, I know that 4 times 2 is 8. So if I do 4 times 200, that will give me 800. So I have 4 groups, 200 in each group, subtract, and I have 96. Okay, now I need 4 times what gets me close to 96? Well, once again, 4 times 2 is 8. So if I do 4 times 20, that will give me 80. Do my subtraction. And I have 16. I know that 4 times 4 is 16. I'm left with a remainder of 0. So now all I have to do is add up my total here. 200 plus 20 plus 4 gives us 224. Okay. And we can check our division by using multiplication. So we can do 224 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry our 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. So 896 matches our dividend. So we did our division correctly. Okay. Once again, this is how to organize it using the big 7 strategy. I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. And just a little bit different way to go about it. Okay. Your numbers over here might not be the exact same as mine. You might take out different sized chunks, and that's okay. So that's why I'm going to show you another way that we could do this problem. So to take out big chunks, try and take out things that end in 0. So 10, 20, 100, 200. All right? So maybe I'm going to start with 100 groups. 4 times 100 is 400. And I can subtract, and I'm left with 496. Well, I know that I can take out another group of 100. So I have 96. Then maybe I will take out my group of 20. 4 times 20 is 80. Gives me to 16, and I know that 4 times 4 is 16. Same thing, 100 plus 100 plus 20 plus 4 is 224. So you can see that there are different ways you can take out different size groups here, but the important part is that you will get the same answer at the bottom. So you can take a different road, but it will get you to the same place. Notice when I started out with a big chunk, I had to do fewer steps. When I started out with smaller chunks, I had to do a couple extra steps. It's really up to you and what numbers you are comfortable with. Okay. I really suggest that you try and do numbers that you can do mentally. That's why we start with numbers that end in zeros and then get down to the lower numbers that should be our basic facts. All right, let's flip the page. We've got a couple more examples here. All right, so find the quotient of 1,332 divided by 9. I'm going to organize this one using the partial quotients method. Just so you can see how to write your numbers that way. So 1,332 divided by 9. Our dividend always goes on the inside. Okay, so 9 times what gets me close to 1,300? Well, I don't know something like that off the top of my head, but I know that 9 times 100 is 900. So I'm going to start by taking out 100. Okay, do my subtraction. 13 minus 9 is 4, and I'm at 432. Okay, so now I need to think 9 times what can get me close to 43. Well, 9 times 3 is 27, so that's not quite enough. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 5 is 45. So that's too much, not enough. So I'm going to do 4 groups. Okay, now 9 times 4 would be 36, but I want to get to 360, so I'm going to do 40. And we can subtract. We'll have to borrow here. 13 minus 6 is 7. Okay. Now I'm down to lower digits. I know that 9 times 8 is 72, so I'm going to take out a group of 8. And I have 0 left over, which means I have no remainder. Add up my chunks. 100 plus 40 plus 8 is 148. And we can check our math by taking our quotient times our divisor, and that should equal our dividend. 9 times 8 is 72. Okay. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 7 would be 43. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 4 is 13. So that matches. We know that we did our math correctly. Okay. Notice, instead of writing my groups over on the side like during the big 7, I just wrote my groups here on top. Either way is fine with me, whatever you are more comfortable with. Okay, we've got 3 more practice problems to do. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and give one of these a try, or you can even try all of them. Check your answer with multiplication. If you got the right answer with your multiplication at the end, then you know you did your division correctly. If not, go ahead and come back to the video, and I'm going to be working these out step by step, and you can follow along this way. We have 1,115 divided by 5. Okay. I'm going to do this one using the big 7. So 5 times what will get me close to 1,000? Okay. Well, 5 times 2 is 10. So if I do 5 times 200, that would get me to 1,000. Do my subtraction. I have 115. Okay. So 5 times 2 still gets me really close to 10. So if I do 5 times 20, that will get me to 100. And I'm left with 15. That is 3 groups. So now we add them up. 200 plus 20 plus 3 would be 223. And let's check our work. 223 times 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Matches our dividend, so we did our division correctly. Remember, your groups may not be the same as mine over here on the side, and your work might not match perfectly, but your answers should match. If you did not get 223, then you did make a mistake somewhere along the road. Let's move on to problem B. 665 divided by 7. I'm going to organize this one using the partial quotients strategy. Okay, so 7 times what will get me to close to 66? Okay, that's what we can think about to help us decide where to start. Well, I know that 7 times 9 is 63. So I'm going to do 9D groups and subtract 630. Get 5, 3. Okay. 35, I know that that is 5 groups. 7 times 5 is 35. I'm left with 0, and we have an answer of 95. Let's check and see if we did our division correctly. Take your quotient times your divisor. So these two numbers are what you're going to multiply together. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 9 is 63, plus 3 is 66. That matches our dividend. So we are good to move on. All right, last one. We have 432 divided by 16. 432 is our dividend, and it is going to come first. I'll do this one with the big 7 strategy. So 16 times what will get me close to 43? This one's a little bit trickier, so you might have to do some scratch work down here. So let's see what 16 times 2 would be. That's 12, 2, 3. That gets us to 32. Let's see if we can fit one more. Let's do 16 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18, 48. Okay, so sometimes you might have to do scratch work like this on the side of your paper or the bottom. That's perfectly fine. If you can't do it mentally or do not know these mentally, that is okay. So we can get to 32. So let's take out 20 groups. That would be 320. That leaves us with 112 left over. Okay. 16 times 3 is 48. I think we can fit more than 3 groups, so let's try 4 groups. 4 times 6 is 24, and that gets us to 64. Maybe we could even try 5 groups. Remember, the bigger groups that we do, the less work that we will have to do. 6 times 5 is 30. That would give us 80. Okay, let's do 5 groups. And we are left with 32. I know I've seen that number somewhere before. Oh, that is 2 groups. So do not erase your scratch work when you're done. It will come in handy later on. And let's add up our groups. 20 plus 5 plus 2 is 27. And last step, we need to check our work by using multiplication. So 27 times 16. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 4 is 16. Okay, we move over a place value. 1 times 27 is 27. 13. And our answer matches up. So we have done a good job dividing there. All right, last step is our lesson summary. We learned how to find the quotient for division in a couple of different ways today. The first strategy was by using base 10 blocks. Okay, remember, this is a perfectly fine strategy if you like to draw them out and then break them apart into equal groups. It just might be a little bit more time consuming, and you might have to do some unbundling and decomposing to make it work perfectly. The second strategy that we found, this would be the strategy that's more efficient, is using the partial quotients method, which you can also refer to as Big 7. Remember, when we do Big 7, we take out groups, and the bigger the groups, the more time you will save. Okay? And there are more than one way to do it. So here are 2 examples. You can take out different size groups along the way. It's your answer at the end that matters. Okay? So your work might be different than your friends or different than mine, but you should get the same answer at the end. Okay? Both of our strategies are very effective. The only thing is that base 10 diagrams are going to be more time consuming. So I really suggest that you try and do the partial quotients or Big 7 strategy. But if you feel the need, you can start with base 10 diagrams until you feel more comfortable. All right, that is our lesson on dividing. The substitute will have your lesson 9 homework problems. And if you have any questions, go ahead and send me an email. I have access to my computer and I can respond to you right away.